We have the freedom to plan our lives starting at birth. Then one day our health changes and we realize we may not have planned for everything. Most of us that reach 65 will eventually rely on others to help us do the things we now take for granted. What's your plan for long-term care? Certified Senior Solutions Specialists can help. Even if you don't qualify for long-term care insurance, you may qualify for a new special critical illness policy that pays cash for conditions that cause most long-term care insurance claims. Call us today to plan ahead.
South Carolina Blue presents Senior Connections, a show about senior issues and events, a guide to active independent living in South Carolina, with your host, Kara Gormley, and financial consultant, Dr. Kevin Skipper.
Welcome to Senior Connections. I'm Kevin Skipper. Senior Connections brought to you by South Carolina Blue. How are you today?
I'm doing great. I'm Kara Gormley Metter. I'm wearing my red because, you know, it's Heart Month after all, so I'm trying to get a little inspiration out there for folks.
But although it's Heart Month, we're getting older. I got older last month. Many of our viewers are getting older. So get this statistic.
Yes.
Older Americans are living longer. According to a new study, older Americans, for the first time, the study tracked multiple agencies and discovered some interesting things, like there are approximately 35 million people in the U.S. age 65 and older.
Okay.
Seniors account for 13% of the total number. To give you some perspectives, in 1900, the number of older Americans was about 3.1 million.
Well, and get this too, the report also says that with the aging of baby boomers,
That's
of course,
us.
yes, that these are folks born between 1946 and 1964.
And you don't have to give out your year.
No, but our senior population is expected to double, and that is going to bring us to around 70 million people. Here's some good news, especially if you have life in your years. Life expectancy for Americans who were 65 in 2000, they were expected to live 18 years. That's compared to folks who are 65 in 1900. Their life expectancy from them was only 12 years. So that's 6 extra years.
If we do the things that Heart a Month can teach us.
That's true,
right?
among other things.
That's the if.
Yes,
okay?
yes.
If we don't, then these numbers really don't matter.
And some of us just have good genes anyway, right?
That's true.
So they get lucky.
One of my doctors told me, work out, eat right, and have a good set of genes.
Exactly. Well, you know, we know that a lot of our viewers, they have good genes. They're great looking, and they've got some pretty good looking grandkids to boot.
But we want to see some more of those.
Yes.
Bring those on. Mine's now about 3 months old.
So cute.
And just a good little boy. And I get all kinds of people from Facebook saying, we're keeping him up with your little one on Facebook.
Yes, yes.
I'm still trying to get that down.
So we're asking folks to send in pictures of their grandchildren, and we have a brand new website we want you to check out. It's seniorconnections.tv, or you can call us at 748-1317 and we'll give you an address. You can send in this picture of your grandchildren, tell us a little bit about your little bundles and what makes them so special, and we'll show them on the air here on WIS.
So because there's so many of you watching and we're getting older, that's what Senior Connections is all about. So each week we want to bring you the latest events, news, tips, and strategies to help you from retirement through parent care. We've got a great program lined up for you. We'll be right back.
Senior Connections, brought to you by South Carolina Blue, here for you. Whit Ash Furniture, and by the South Carolina Medical Endoscopy Center.
So the kids are grown and gone, and you're downsizing. Hello, Joe Penner here. Downsizing is a great way to improve your finances, especially when you find forgotten treasure in the process, like unwanted gold and silver coins, flatware, tea sets, and jewelry. Don't sell your forgotten treasure till you visit the gold buying service at locally owned Bolton House Jewelers, where you can sell with confidence at some of the highest returns available. Downsizing? Ready to sell? I highly recommend Bolton House Jewelers.
Harbor Chase, an assisted living and memory care community, is home to the best, those who live here and those who care for them. Kindness abounds, as does respect for each life and the dignity it has earned. Our highly trained, compassionate associates provide the highest quality of care that engages body, mind, and spirit.
I am so glad my son found Harbor Chase for me. I'm happy here.
Harbor Chase, celebrating senior living each and every day.
Woodash is having a mattress sale. Why pay thousands of dollars for a Visco memory foam mattress when you can get a complete two-piece queen set at Woodash for $3.99? This quality mattress layered with Visco memory foam features a cool, comfortable quilted top for a comfortable, cool sleep every night. Highly resilient, highly durable, and best of all, at a discount price starting at just $3.99 for the two-piece queen set. For the lowest discount prices featuring Visco memory foam mattresses starting at $3.99, shop Woodash today. Woodash, located in the heart of the Vista, 919 Gervais.
We have the freedom to plan our lives starting at birth. Then one day our health changes and we realize we may not have planned for everything. Most of us that reach 65 will eventually rely on others to help us do the things we now take for granted. What's your plan for long-term care? Certified Senior Solutions Specialists can help. Even if you don't qualify for long-term care insurance, you may qualify for a new special critical illness policy that pays cash for conditions that cause most long-term care insurance claims. Call us today to plan ahead.
Welcome back to Senior Connections. I'm Kevin Skipper. As we roll into the months of the year, one of the things that's on your mind repeatedly these days is health insurance. Wouldn't it be nice if you could just walk in and talk to someone, get your answers right before your eyes? We've got that kind of a resource right here in the Midlands.
We do. Frank Buckner is with South Carolina Blue. I have to tell you, you were on date night with me a couple nights ago.
Oh, yeah?
We were at the movies and a big commercial came on, the big screen, talking about South Carolina Blue. And I thought, boy, that looks great. But I don't know, there's still some people that may not know exactly what you do. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, we're a full service operation. We actually sell and service all lines of business with Blue Cross of South Carolina. If you have a policy through a major corporation or a small corporation, or if you just want to get insurance for yourself, you can come in and do that. If you just have questions about your coverage or your bills,
sure. And there are a lot of those going around
nowadays.
There
are. We can help you. We can help you with that.
But a lot of our viewers are used to an 800 number. They're used to an agent having to come by their house or chase you down. Tell us about the convenience of walking into a retail store and seeing a beautiful smile like yours and the rest of your staff.
Yeah, when you walk into the store, you'll see this face. And it's just great because a lot of people just want to know, they just want to see it out in front of them. They just want you to tell them, what should I get?
Yes.
What's going on here? And that's what we can do face to face with you. We can just go through everything. Any question you have, we have the whole day for you if you want.
And no arm twisting, no pressure.
No pressure.
Yeah, just I don't have to make a decision when I walk in. I can come in and get what I need and then walk out and think about it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And what if you're not a customer?
If you're not a customer,
but you still have questions?
You can come in, ask us any question. That's fine. We welcome all questions, all people. If you just want to come in and play, we have a Wii for the kids. You can bring your kids along. If you want to use our internet or listen to some good music, you can do that.
Sure, and we've talked about some of the classes you all offer there too. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, we have Zumba classes. We're going to have yoga soon. We have healthcare reform and you.
Yes.
That's a big one.
Insurance 101.
And so hours of operation and location, how early and how late?
We open from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturday.
Before I let you go, what are some of the reactions that people have when they come in and actually talk to the human being aspect?
I get repeatedly, people are just so happy that we had time for them, that they came and that they actually made the effort to come out and see us. They are just thrilled.
Well, we've had Amanda and Ashley and now you on the show, and y'all are doing a great job hiring some great people persons as well as professionals.
Yes, thank you.
So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And stay tuned. Of course, the new healthcare law is having an impact on medical equipment as well. And after the break, some professionals from All Medical are going to be in to straighten out some of those problems you might be having deciphering that. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Darby at Beds & Such. We're a furniture store located at 2265 Augusta Highway, right behind the Chick-fil-A. We buy overruns, discontinued items. This store changes literally every day. You may have seen the national campaigns for new Cool Gel memory foam mattresses. The average price starts at $15.99 and they go into the thousands. This is our new top-of-the-line Cool Gel memory foam mattress. It has high resilient core, 4 inches of Italian latex, 3 inches of 4-pound gel-infused visco foam, for a cooler sleep, $11.99 for a queen-size set. This is the national competitor's $3,000 version. It has 4 inches of 4-pound visco memory foam on a high resilient core, $7.99 a queen-size set. We now carry the same high-quality adjustable beds as our competitors at a fraction of the price. This queen fully adjustable bed with massage and wireless remote is only $11.99, and when combined with any of our all-foam mattresses, you could have the ultimate luxury sleep experience starting at $17.99. We invite you to Beds and Such to see what all we have to offer.
We have the freedom to plan our lives starting at birth. Then one day our health changes and we realize we may not have planned for everything. Most of us that reach 65 will eventually rely on others to help us do the things we now take for granted. What's your plan for long-term care? Certified Senior Solutions Specialists can help. Even if you don't qualify for long-term care insurance, you may qualify for a new special critical illness policy that pays cash for conditions that cause most long-term care insurance claims. Call us today to plan ahead.
Colonoscopy is a screening procedure to protect patients from colon cancer by looking for polyps and destroying them. Everyone should have a colonoscopy starting at age 50. If you have additional risk factors such as family history or previous polyps, you start earlier.
The South Carolina Medical Endoscopy Center is the place to get a colonoscopy done because it's the simplest and the staff is very friendly and Dr. Lloyd was just great.
For more, contact South Carolina Medical Endoscopy or go to wistv.com and click on Health.
You know, choosing a financial advisor is one of the most important decisions you'll ever make. You're seeking out a person or a firm that you will entrust your life savings with. I'm Dr. Kevin Skipper. I've been a financial consultant for over 20 years here in Columbia. Our firm is Discipline Financial Management. Here's some questions to ask an advisor. How long have you been in business and what are your credentials? What's your investment philosophy? What is your sales strategy? Let us answer these questions and many others. Give us a call at Discipline Financial Management.
Welcome back, everybody, and thanks for joining us today for Senior Connections, sponsored by South Carolina Blue. I'm Kara Gormley, joined with Kevin Skipper here, and we talk about it a lot on this show, seniors wanting to remain independent as long as they can. Absolutely, and one of the big areas that has a lot of people concerned is Medicare, Medicaid, and as we grow older, the medical equipment that we need in order to have a comfortable life, everything from medical beds to walkers to ramps for our vehicles to the vehicles themselves. Joining us today is Bill Hayes. He's with All Medical and a regular guest. And how have things changed in the world, Bill? Good to see you.
Good to see you. Thanks for having me. Well, they've changed quite a bit. Everyone knows there's a lot of changes going on in health insurance, Medicare, Medicaid's changing. So that affects probably everyone in the healthcare industry that provides services. And it's certainly affecting the medical equipment industry a lot.
And so the typical viewer here, how might they be surprised? They go to their doctor today and the doctor says, you need a wheelchair and you need some rails in your house and some of those prescriptions that doctors actually write. Now they've got the prescription. How has it changed on what they do next?
Well, the big thing that's changed, Kevin, is they get the prescription, say, for a wheelchair, and they may have a company they're used to dealing with, and they may not be able to use that company anymore because certain items like wheelchairs and hospital beds and walkers and have been contracted just to certain suppliers, and many of those suppliers are out-of-state people too. They're not local.
Sure. Well, and are you getting a lot of questions, or are there people out there in your mind that don't even have a clue that this has changed, so they expect to continue with the companies they've been working with and they can't anymore?
Yeah, Kara, that's very true. A lot of them have no idea how this has changed, and when they call, we're like the bearer of bad news. So we're saying, gee, I'm sorry. I mean, we've served you for 15 years and we can't do it anymore. So, and that's really bad, and we hate it just as much as they do.
Sure,
I mean, it's tough.
So is there any way for them to know ahead of time these obstacles before they make the phone call? Is there any way to educate? I guess it's uncertain. We know what they're going to need in the future.
Well, you know, they can call Medicare, and they can go online with Medicare.gov, and there's a list of the contracted suppliers there that they have to deal with. One of the areas that's really impacting is repairs of equipment. There's a lot of people out there that purchase like power wheelchairs, and those things need to be repaired and serviced from time to time, and they may not be able to go back to the company they had been going to, and this is really, some companies have actually had to close their doors. So,
and you're saying there's not much that folks can do if they want to try to fight for the company that they've worked with. Are there lobbying efforts or anything going on that could possibly change things down the road?
There are lobbying efforts. So we have trade groups that are lobbying. Some of the organizations like Muscular Dystrophy and MS Society are lobbying to change this law.
So if viewers are watching and they're upset by this, if they join forces maybe with their local lawmakers to try to have their voice heard, it may make a difference down the road?
It may. I guess the best thing they could do is call their local representatives. If they're having a problem, call and let them know they're having a problem. Because if they don't hear from them, they think everything's okay.
It just sails through.
But if someone's private pay for some of their medical equipment, they can still call you directly?
They can still call
no
directly.
obstacles for a private pay?
Exactly. And not everything is covered under this program.
Sure.
It's usually the most common things, the walkers and wheelchairs and hospital beds and oxygen and things like that.
And tell us your website and your phone number.
It's allmedicalinc.com. Our phone number is 779-2011.
Bill, great to have you on the
Thanks
program.
Thanks for having me.
Look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thank you.
Well, some scary stats. Still to come, South Carolina seniors are getting ripped off at an alarming rate when it comes to identity theft.
And some even around this Medicare that we're talking about. The folks from the South Carolina Department of Consumer Affairs will join us. We come back. Stay with us on Senior Connections.
Closed captioning made possible by Beds and Such, located at 2265 Augusta Road in West Columbia.
You're considering a reverse mortgage. What are the facts? Joining me as expert in the area of reverse mortgage, Larry Reed. Larry, good to see you today.
Thank you, Kevin.
You know, one of the things that people want to know, probably the most frequently asked question, is who owns the house when I do a reverse mortgage?
And I do get that question all the time, and the homeowner owns it. It's not the lender. It does not belong to the lender. You have to understand that. The home can be sold at any time. There's no prepayment penalty, and they only pay for what they've used.
Very good. So if you're looking at a reverse mortgage, call Larry Reed today, 269-1053. Welcome back to Senior Connections, brought to you by South Carolina Blue. I'm Kevin Skipper, along with Kara Gormley.
Or Gormley Matter.
Or Gormley Matter.
Or just don't call me late for dinner.
You know, this story really upsets me when you think about the number of seniors that are taken advantage of with scams.
Well,
it's a growing number. We've got someone to help us walk through it today.
I didn't realize how bad it was until I met Carrie Gruby-Leibarker at the Department of Consumer Affairs here in South Carolina, and you showed me some of the recent data and identity theft for seniors in South Carolina. It's not good. Can you tell us a little bit about what you found?
Yeah, unfortunately, we're above the national average in people aged 50 and older with identity theft events in South Carolina. So we certainly have a vulnerable population.
Now, we have some novices who are seniors, who are trustworthy, who I remember the first time someone mentioned the word identity theft for me, I thought they were talking like the Twilight Zone.
Right.
Define for them what that means when someone steals your identity.
Sure. Basically, it's somebody using your information, your Social Security number, dates of birth, financial account information without your permission.
Yes. And it's not just computers. A lot of times when you hear that, you think of computer breaches and hackers. But you found that really folks just throwing out mail, unknowingly giving some of that information. Can you?
Yeah, not shredding things before you throw them away. They have a practice called dumpster diving, to where these scam artists will come along and look in your trash for information, or they'll go by your mailbox and mailbox surf, take out your credit card statement, so they have your credit card number and your checking account number from the check you put in there to pay it. But those closest to you, family members and friends, those are the ones that truly have the access to that personal information that you want to hold close.
And many of our seniors are trusting, so they're maybe a little lonely. They get a telephone call. Right. What are the knots for seniors to do when they get that call?
Sure.
What do they not do?
A lot of times someone will call you, a scam artist, and ask you for personal information. They may pose as somebody from your bank, somebody from Medicare, asking for that Social Security number, or you need to verify your bank account number because of a security breach or some kind of an event. A legitimate business will not call you and ask you for that information. Hang up, call the number you know belongs to that business, whether or not you're looking at a credit card statement or looking in your phone book, so that you can verify that was a legitimate call. But that's usually the number one. If somebody comes out of the gate asking for that personal information over the phone, it's a red flag.
And have you heard of the grandparent scam? They call the senior like they're a grandchild, saying they're in jail.
Right.
I need this much money to get me out of jail.
Yeah.
I mean, so
The lengths that
they go. So be very careful. And if they have questions, how would they call and get in touch with you?
They can reach us toll free at 800-922-1594. If they just want information on deterring identity theft, or if they believe they're a victim, we're there to help.
Carrie, thank you so much for being here.
Thank
I know
you.
you're going to help a lot of folks. And still to come, we're talking about tax data a lot and all the information.
When we talk taxes, don't you?
Yes, how much money am I not going to see this year?
Well, as parents and their children's money is tied together,
yes,
there are more and more opportunities for some tax savings. We're going to talk about that when we come back on Senior Connections.
Harbor Chase, an assisted living and memory care community, is home to the best, those who live here and those who care for them. Kindness abounds, as does respect for each life and the dignity it has earned. Our highly trained, compassionate associates provide the highest quality of care that engages body, mind, and spirit.
I am so glad my son found Harbor Chase for me. I'm happy here.
Harbor Chase, celebrating senior living each and every day.
Hi, I'm Darby at Beds & Such. We're a furniture store located at 2265 Augusta Highway, right behind the Chick-fil-A. We buy overruns, discontinued items. This store changes literally every day. You may have seen the national campaigns for new Cool Gel memory foam mattresses. The average price starts at $15.99 and they go into the thousands. This is our new top-of-the-line Cool Gel memory foam mattress. It has high resilient core, 4 inches of Italian latex, 3 inches of 4-pound gel-infused visco foam for a cooler sleep, $11.99 for a queen-size set. This is the national competitor's $3,000 version. It has 4 inches of 4-pound visco memory foam on a high resilient core, $7.99 a queen-size set. We now carry the same high-quality adjustable beds as our competitors at a fraction of the price. This queen fully adjustable bed with massage and wireless remote is only $11.99, and when combined with any of our all-foam mattresses, you could have the ultimate luxury sleep experience starting at $17.99. We invite you to Beds & Such to see what all we have to offer.
You may have seen actors on TV talking about reverse mortgages. Well, I am not an actor. I am Larry Reed and I live in the Midlands. For 7 years, I have been meeting face-to-face with older adults throughout the Carolinas and Georgia, supporting them to safely access their home equity with the federally insured reverse mortgage. So please call me. I'll help you understand the program, and then you can decide if a reverse mortgage is right for you.
So the kids are grown and gone, and you're downsizing. Hello, Joe Penner here. Downsizing is a great way to improve your finances, especially when you find forgotten treasure in the process, like unwanted gold and silver coins, flatware, tea sets, and jewelry. Don't sell your forgotten treasure till you visit the gold buying service at locally owned Bolton House Jewelers, where you can sell with confidence at some of the highest returns available. Downsizing? Ready to sell? I highly recommend Bolton House Jewelers.
We have the freedom to plan our lives starting at birth. Then one day our health changes and we realize we may not have planned for everything. Most of us that reach 65 will eventually rely on others to help us do the things we now take for granted. What's your plan for long-term care? Certified Senior Solutions Specialists can help. Even if you don't qualify for long-term care insurance, you may qualify for a new special critical illness policy that pays cash for conditions that cause most long-term care insurance claims. Call us today to plan ahead.
Welcome back to Senior Connections, sponsored by South Carolina Blue. I'm Kara Gormley, and Kevin Skipper is a financial consultant with Disciplined Financial Management. You join us now because we have been bombarded, and thank you for sending in your email questions regarding tax issues. And this one is from James in Columbia, who writes, can I claim a medical expense for modifications I made to my home to accommodate my parents' medical condition? And the answer is?
More and more people are going to be in this situation,
yes.
So you want to take note of this. And the answer is yes, you can, but you got to meet some stringent qualifications. This example, you got a house, you add a room, you make different modifications to your house for the purpose of bringing your parent in.
Yes.
Well, they've got to be your dependent, which means you're providing 50% of their care.
Okay.
you can only deduct the amount of the cost minus its increased value to your house. Okay, so it's not dollar for dollar. It's got to be above 7.5% of your adjusted gross income, and you'll want to check out Publication 17 and Publication 502 at the IRS.gov website. Great email, and hope that others will send some emails as well.
And before you move on, I just want to make sure everyone really understands. You're talking about, so your house, and then you bring in your parents, and you do some sort of addition
modification to the house.
So no matter how big or small, it could be with
guardrails, bathroom, upgrade the bathroom, all of those.
Or a whole new kind of wing.
That's right.
Okay,
So
sounds good.
All those, and more people are doing it
because you want to try to help your parents out.
Take care of mom and dad.
Super.
Let's give away a book on Alzheimer's.
Let's
it's called The Alzheimer's Solution: How to Take Care of Your Parents. And for the fifth caller at 748-1317, you want to do that. So thanks for joining us today. I'm Kevin Skipper.
And I'm Kara Gormley. We really appreciate you watching Senior Connection.
South Carolina Medical Endoscopy Senior Connection Extra coming up next.
Colonoscopy is a screening procedure to protect patients from colon cancer by looking for polyps and destroying them. Everyone should have a colonoscopy starting at age 50. If you have additional risk factors such as family history or previous polyps, you start earlier.
The South Carolina Medical Endoscopy Center is the place to get a colonoscopy done because it's the simplest, and the staff is very friendly, and Dr. Lloyd was just great.
For more, contact South Carolina Medical Endoscopy or go to WISTV.com and click on Health.
It's now time for the South Carolina Medical Endoscopy Senior Connections Extra. Each week at this time, we want to give you the latest information, tips, and strategies to help you prevent this cancer that many believe is preventable. Our topic today, what do I say to a friend? Joining me is Dr. Stephen Lloyd, a national expert in this area. And Dr. Lloyd, good to see you.
Thank you so much for having me.
You know, I've learned so much from you from these segments about this preventable cancer, and then I get a call from a friend recently, and he tells me bad news. I've got stage 4 colon cancer.
What a sad tale.
It was a sad call.
It is.
Especially after all I've learned from you, that this is preventable. And even she said that she had the colonoscopy a year prior. So what's the difference between a doctor who finds it and prevents it and a doctor who misses it and my friend is sick?
Well, there's a quality metric called the adenoma detection rate, the ADR. Doctors that have an ADR above 20 give patients 10 times the protection. Unfortunately, about 10% of the people that get colon cancer had a colonoscopy within the last 5 years. That really should never happen. If you have a high-quality colonoscopy, those stories do not occur.
So when you say it's preventable, some could think, you know, that's a sales pitch, that's just, he's trying to get me into the office. Explain why it is really a preventable cancer.
That's a great question. Colon cancer is very different than other common cancers like breast or prostate cancer in that there's a warning. There's a precursor. It's called a polyp. From the time a polyp first forms until it turns into cancer takes longer than 10 years. So during a colonoscopy, while we're inspecting very carefully the walls of the colon, if we see one of those polyps, we remove it, we destroy it, we take it out, and then it cannot progress onto cancer. We can prevent 90% of colon cancers. Colon cancer is the preventable cancer, but more than that, it's the cancer that no one should ever die from.
Tell us about your button. It's preventable.
This button says, screen this too. We get a little bit jealous of the tatas, and then we have the pink goalposts and the pink tennis shoes and all those things. But colonoscopy is 50 times more likely to save a life than a mammogram. And so we'd like to get equal time. Don't forget your butt.
Get the message out there. Thanks for joining us today.
We want to leave no behind behind.
Very good. So thank you for joining us today for the South Carolina Medical Endoscopy Senior Connection Extra. I hope that more than just saying this was good information, you'll take action this week. Give Dr. Lloyd a call. Join us again next week for the Senior Connections Extra.
Senior Connections, brought to you by South Carolina Blue, here for you. Whit Ash Furniture, and by the South Carolina Medical Endoscopy Center.